As a Cleveland reporter, Doris O'Donnell saw and wrote about it all. The dark side, crime, murder, riots, and the light side, riding an elephant, following the Indians, playing Santa Claus. Thankfully, she never stopped writing, and she reveals the real story behind Cleveland's hot history headlines in her book, Front Page Girl, and in a DVD series produced by Mark Wade Stone called Doris O'Donnell's Cleveland. Mark is a media producer and editor for StoryWorks.tv, and he and Doris are here to tell all about it. All right, we're so happy to have you here.
Thank you very much for inviting us.
Doris, your career spanned nearly 60 years, so how are you able to choose which stories you're going to put in your memoir?
Well, you try to put in as much as you want to. When I started writing the book, I wrote 350,000 words.
Oh my goodness.
And it got down to 22 chapters, so, you know.
Okay.
But the editor found a lot of, you know, like the Shepard case, the big cases that were fascinating. And
especially Shepard, I mean, that was right here.
That's
so,
right.
And the Huff Riots.
Huff Riots,
That was all here in town,
That's
but
right.
I also, Chappaquiddick and the
everything.
Kennedy assassinations and Martin Luther King, all of those things were huge topics that hit the headlines
that's
everywhere.
right, yeah.
So, and you like crime and politics, really?
Well, they always seem to be related.
That's probably true.
You can't go very far, even to our current politics all over the country. No, but the people involved in those things are probably the most interesting. And I always thought that Chandler Burns, one of our elevated crooks and whatever, if he had not gone crooked, he would have been like the head of a big corporation. Because he was a fascinating guy. But he liked the more exciting, even the kind of bloody excitement.
Oh dear. So, and in the books you're able to not just report the story, but talk a little bit of the story behind the story. And it's all good reading. Like in the book you say you thought Sam Shepard was really guilty.
Yes, I did. Well, you know, I was on that case almost from the beginning, but before the murder, the people on newspapers got to know the Shepard family because there was a plain dealer in the morning, the news in the afternoon, but they played the press. So the Shepard brothers would take turns calling the press, news, and plain dealer about their exploits at the hospital.
Oh my goodness.
And one afternoon I got a call from Dr. Sam Shepard. And this was for our 3 o'clock edition, because we had 3 editions, you know, 9, 12, and 3. And he went on to explain how he sewed this woman back together. She'd been in a terrible automobile accident, on and on. And of course, that made the headlines. And not knowing that this was going to be one of the women that he courted, and he even admitted after she had braces on that he was having a sexual relation with her in Rocky River Park.
Oh my goodness, all that backstory. A lot of people didn't know what was actually going on.
There were lots of things.
and you couldn't report it either.
No, we couldn't report it. No.
You just knew all this stuff.
You'd go back and say, I have this and this and this, and they'd say, well, we'll talk to our lawyer.
Oh boy. Okay, so Mark, we know Doris's stories make for great reading. What made you think that they would make great watching as well?
Well, just listen to her. I mean, she is what you would call institutional memory of this town and of journalism in this town. She knows where all the bodies are buried, maybe even literally.
Are you telling us?
But it
not on this show.
And we have tape of things that we really couldn't put in the shows either. But she just has a knowledge of everything about this town. And I knew when I first picked up the book that it wasn't going to be just one documentary, it was going to be a series.
Okay. So you've got 20 or 30-minute episodes, a number of them already taped. How did you decide what exactly you were going to put into the DVD?
Very tough. I probably went through the same problems that the Kent State press editors went through. But I first of all had to go for the Shepard case for the first,
of course,
for the first episode, which won us an Emmy. Actually.
Oh, excellent! Right. Congratulations.
And yes, you tend to go to the more salacious stories, maybe, but not really. We ended up really the focus of it is journalism and how journalism covered in those days these kinds of cases. It's different nowadays.
Yeah, it's much different now. So I'm glad it's being documented by the two of you. So there are so many stories and so little time. However, thanks to Doris O'Donnell and Mark Wade Stone, you can read all about it, or see all about it, by using the information that's coming up next. My thanks to Doris and Mark for joining us today.
Thank you.
Gosh, see.
To purchase Doris O'Donnell's book, call the Kent State University Press at 330-672-7913 or click to www.kentstateuniversitypress.com. To find out more about the video series, call Storyworks TV at 216-228-1441 or log on to www.storyworks.tv. Next, how Ohio law discriminates against seniors.